Today we are talking about taking a build and what is to be considered when we are taking a build. All those aspects we are going to touch upon. So first is taking a build is very simple thing from Angular perspective. So this is where the actual compilation, everything happens. So the compilation happens on how you want to compile the data, which target you want to use, that is JS script target. Because we prepared in the TypeScript. So TypeScript is not recognizable by the browser. So the TypeScript needs to be converted into JS file. So the JS file, when it converted, we have that ESM, right? ESM script levels. So we need to tell under which target that ASM has to be converted. For example, I'll just share my screen. Confirm once you are able to see the screen. So under which, so any project for that matter, whether it is our own project or any project for that matter, the tsconfig.json is the one which will tell you how a project will get compiled. I'm talking about this area, target. Target, that is ES 2016. So under this target environment, so all your compilation will happen. So the compilation will perform based on this configurations. So this configuration is very important for him to compile. I'll just go with the simple things. I don't want to show you the entire full commented lines, etc., because everything may not be required. So here I think we have kept whatever is mandatory. Here the target is ES 2020, 2020. So 2020 is the target under which this will go. Out directory is out-tsc, it is there. So out-, I'll just generally go with tsc itself, that is dist itself. So under dist directory, this target, that is the library target, that means the JS file conversion will happen with this target. And library we are using DOM. This is very important. This all these target names has to match. Otherwise, we will might have a problem. So because library also I need to use that, then only the target can be achieved. So using this library, the TS file will get converted into JS file, and that JS file will be part of dist folder. So this is where the project will get compiled. For compiling this project, we generally use, I'm using FS project, I just say save all. For compiling this project, what we generally do is node command prompt. Node command prompt. I'm opening a node command prompt. If you see here the directories, I'm into the again back to this entire thing. So TS server. I'm compiling the TS server. For Angular compilation, that is also there. That is, if you go to the readme file, that is that package.json file. For building, there is a script ng build. So this is the command we need to use for building the Angular project. For building the TS server project, that is Angular project. Now I'm just trying to build a TS server project. Again, package.json. So package.json, there is no script involved. So I need to add a script as well. Otherwise, tsc.p, that is the compilation. The tsc is the compiler. Output, the tsc is the compiler, tsc.p. So that also I'll come to that. First is let us build Angular project. When we build Angular project, I just created a, so I'll just go to project, CD upskill, sorry, D drive in my case. CD upskill, right? I'll just go to CD FS project 1, the directory. So this is the directory we have. This is the main directory. In this main directory where Angular project is available, SRC folder is there, that is part of Angular project. TS server, inside the TS server directory is my TS server project. So Angular, if I do ng build, if I put this, it will create a folder, dist folder also. Inside the dist folder, it will compile. Right? Compilation started. I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is doing a building of project. The build is nothing but it will compile all the TS files, group it properly, and then put it as part of the dist folder. So everything is over now. Overall compilation is done. If I just go to directory now, so you will see that there is a dist folder, CD dist folder. I go inside that. If you see here, CD FS project, inside that, you can see various files got created. HTML in Angular, since it is a HTML, so Angular index.html is the base to start with. But main.js, it has compiled all your project into a main.js. Multiple third-party.txt, 270.34.8 to 550, each module, each module that we created, routing with routing, that all becomes an individual .js file. That is all gets compiled into main.js automatically. It will invoke automatically. So every file you can see, it is all .js files, and CSS files are all available as part of this. In case any CSS you have written it underneath that HTML, that will be part of the scripting tag inside that particular JS file. All HTML, everything is part of now JS file. So this is how a build gets compiled. So in CSRC folder, if I go inside this dist folder now. Go inside the dist folder. This is where HTML will look like. You can see all the fonts, everything, whatever we have mapped, everything gets loaded up front. These are all scripts generated by the system itself. We have not generated this. And is loading the main.js. So the main.js is having here. So the main.js will look like this. Right? This is the main.js. This is the uglified form of main.js. So all the component, all the data that you require, it is part of this JS now. Right? You can see it is not easy to read. It is not easy to, wherever we have used for loop, etc., it has all become for each, and variables. He has given his own variables. Right? None of this is easy for you to recollect. Very difficult to debug this data. And this is the data is now getting compiled and used by the system. So once you compile it, how to execute this project? Simply, you can right now, this build is available as an independent candidate. Okay. Then TS server. You can publish this entire thing into wherever you want to publish. If you are using a Nginx server, you can publish it through Nginx server. If you are publishing through Node itself, you can publish it through Node. So you can put wherever you want to put this entire compiled directory. You can put it anywhere, and that becomes available for the end user to use. Okay. So that is how a project gets compiled. Second, if you are doing a TS server project, TS server, we can First is I can create a package.json. I'll take a note from here from my other project. Build is this one, tsc minus p. This is my build command. I'll put it underneath package.json, ts server. Inside ts server package.json, build command. I can just say build node modules, etc. This is where that place of my TSC is there. So TSC minus IP minus P, that is project, dot, all that inside this folder you compile it. That is what we are saying. So for doing that, first is I need to go inside the folder. Go inside the folder. So TS server is the folder name. That is the folder name. Inside that folder, I have now created a script, npm run build. That's all. I just have to run this. So npm run the script, missing script. Maybe because I have not saved it. I save it. I saved the file. Again start npm run build. Now it is done. So build tsc minus v dot is not recognized. Yeah, now it is build is done. So directory, you can now see a disk folder got created. So cd disk directory, you can see all the files. Index.js file. You can see now it has started with index.js. We had index.ts. Here I'll just go here itself. Easy for you to read. So I'll just close all this. I close all this so that we only compare between two files, so that index we use. Index we use. So compare this index with whatever is there in the dist folder. Index.js. So TS file and index.ts file all got converted. Import express from express module. Use strict where import default. That import default function module, if it is defined, you use the default. If it is not, function module return ES module. The entire ES module is returning. Then define. Finally, express one, import default, require express. So import default is getting assigned with require, that is assigned through this ES module. These are all actual code conversion happens behind the scene. Okay, and the same file is got compiled. So I want to execute this file, I can execute this file itself. So node index dot, it will execute. So the same thing, whatever we have done it with that, it will same thing, it will work. Only thing is we are now using node index.js from directory disk folder. He compiles all the data. So this is now the way the compilation happens in Node as well as the Angular. So Angular uses the concept called Webpack. Webpack is the concept by default Angular uses. That's why you see an uglified data. Whereas ts.p, it is not an uglified data. It is a normal standard format. So that is why each file is compiled individually. Whatever the file is there, that gets compiled like this. Right? It is compiled in an individual way. Each file is as it is. No combining the file into one file and all, it is not done. Everything is an individual file and that compilation happens with that. So wherever it feels that it is different, he will use it in a different way. So method name, etc. Config.require config. Config1 he has renamed it as. So then pool. then method, etc. So config underscore one, pg underscore one, he takes care of all that, renaming the variable, everything he takes care of it. Right? So pool, there is no change. Config one dot config file, etc. So config.js is like this. It looks like this. So then you have a copy.js. So all that he compiles it and keep it alive. Right? So this is how your code will get converted to. And this conversion, the methodology he uses, if you change the target, the method will change. The way the command is created will change according to the target that you define in your tsconfig.json. If tsconfig.json talks about 2016, your code will vary accordingly. We targeted to ES 2020. So this is using ES module concept. Right? It varies based on target. You can practice it with different targets and you can practice yourself how that changes happens. So that becomes important, or that becomes easier for you. Right? So that is the way it does the compilation. So this is called compilation and project creation. Classes will remain the same because ES 2015 itself, the class concept is there. So constructor, everything is available as part of that. So it all works. There is no change to that. Await, asynchronous and all, there is no change to that. It is all same, remains the same. Right? Same way model, routing. Just see how the routing files got changed. This is my routing file. Right? Wherever that import default is used, wherever we have used import, he has loaded the ES module and then he has worked on it. So this compilation file, if you have a system, very old system, this may not work. Very old hardware, this may not work. Copy paste also will not work because this is target is ES 2020. So otherwise you have to compile it with the older target and then map it as well. So that is how this is generated. So now index is created, route module API.ts. This is our actual routing. There is manager, there will not be any. This is a TS file itself. So TS server config dist folder. Under dist folder is what we were interested upon. Right? That is how it is generated. Whereas if you see the project of Angular, it is uglified. The entire file, you cannot read that file at all. It is uglified. Main.ts, that is how it was. But everything is converted into main. But that main was entirely, it is, I'm just trying to go to the main.js. It is all uglified. Right? This uglified is using Webpack. Webpack is the project package used to compile the data. So you can also manually download the Webpack and then load it as well. That is also available, but you decide whether you want to go with that or not. You can take a call because Webpack is slightly complicated in terms of understanding, in terms of effectively using that. So you can add external modules. You can avoid external modules. All that you can do using that thing. So generally we did a routing just because 34.js and all, it's all routing modules. So Webpack, Webpack is the one. As I said, it is using the Webpack. I'm just trying to find out which one it is. Host element is okay. I'm trying to see which project is that. It is HTML. All these are HTML. All these are HTML. The starting point of the HTML. Node option, export as mat button. Ripple, all these are HTML, part of HTML. Get host element, get attribute, all these are part of HTML. It's not simple. right? Reading that itself is a big thing. Class constructor E. So this is my constructor, focus element. I'm trying to see which module I'm in. But all are internally connected. So we don't have to much worry about all this. We don't have to know the understanding of this aspect. It is password is coming. That means we are talking about register page. This 34 looks like a register page because password is there, mat label password, right? Confirm password. It looks like a register page. So this is for register page. 270 non-admin user list. Get non-admin user list. So this is login. That is that first page, login page. Get register. Get non-admin user. Delete user. Edit user. User management. Manage user page. So because we have this non-admin users only there. For example, if you want to see that under SRC folder, manage users, go to TS file. So get this one. This is what you are seeing it there in the 270.js file. That is what you are seeing it there. So from here also you will know what exactly it is getting called, etc. HTTP get, HTTP localhost 8080 API get non-admin user list. That's how when you click on that method, this is what it will do. So these are all reading it. I leave it to you whether you want to go into detail of this, etc. But we even don't bother about that. We don't bother about what is the number it generates because everything is automatically mapped to the main.js. So that is what routing is all about, right? When you load that data, you will load it, display the 34.js, load that 34.js. Then when you click on manage users, he will load the 270.js, right? So that is how he automatically does the job. So that is how the build is all about. Tomorrow, I'm just leaving it to you. Come up with your doubts. It is a session for doubts alone. So if you don't have any doubts, we can finish the class in 5-10 minutes. If you have a doubts, you come up with your doubts so that I can explain it in the class. Now also, if you have any doubts, you can ask because I just wanted to take the build. We have one or two sessions left that is on the GitHub side that will be taken from Monday. So we will only take it from Monday. So to Friday we are not going to have a class. This session is not there. The other sessions might be there, but this session we are not having a Friday session. Good Friday being, and if you have any doubt now, you can let me know so that I can answer your doubt. There is no practice session today also, so we will end the class as soon as. If you don't have a doubts, we can end the class. Tomorrow we'll start the class, but purely a doubt session. Anything if you want to ask, you can ask. I can take a quick review of what we have taken all these days, so that it will be a what you call refresh for you. So as such, we completed what we wanted to take, except GitHub portion. GitHub portion will be taken by the another team. That is Monday, they will take that session. Friday, we don't have a set class. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we can stop our session. Tomorrow, we have a class, but we'll have a question and answer or review session that I will take. The entire thing, I'll just go through all the syllabus wise. I'll just go through and then share with you all the scripts that we have seen. Okay. If you have questions, feel free to ask. And we don't have a practice session. So the both of our supporters are on leave because of their health is not good. So they are on leave today. You can stop the recording, Rajesh.